Welcome back to this already the final segment of The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking about you and your business. I got Troy Burwell on. He's a new contributor here on The Price of Business. He's a wizard when it comes to the internet and website development. His company, Four Guys, is doing great work. And I just, in fact, didn't even know I was checking out one of his sites today and was like, wow, whoever did this knew what he was doing. Troy, good to see you, sir.
Hey, Kevin, good morning.
Glad to have you as one of our contributors. Glad to have your guests here today. Tell us about Four Guys and how people can check you out online.
Well, you can check out our website, which is the number 4, GUIS.com. That's 4guys.com. We are one of the oldest web development companies in the country, founded back in way back in 1995 when the internet just went live. And we've worked with companies like Lisa's for almost 20 years now.
Speaking of Lisa, go ahead and introduce her as well.
Well, this is Lisa Slappey, who is partners in the company Pride of Persia. I'll let Lisa finish that.
Yeah, Lisa, you go ahead and he kind of teed it up for you. Kind of gives your elevator speech, if you will.
Well, my name is Lisa Slappey. My partner, Mediabi, and I own Pride of Persia Rug Company and Postmodern Traditions, custom and contemporary rug gallery. And that is a mouthful.
That is a mouthful. Now I want Troy to say it backwards. No, okay. So I think it's fascinating. You're also a professor a lecturer at Rice University, which is a phenomenal school. And I love how you've taken your academic background, your experience, you bring it to your work in the rug field. I love what you do. I think it's fascinating. I think it's an interesting story. Kind of go a little bit into that story.
Well, it is a fascinating story, and my partner and I actually met at Rice more than 20 years ago. We started working together on a, kind of a bit of a side job, selling rugs out of the backs of our cars to people we knew from our departments and people in the neighborhood, and eventually that grew into a real business, and we became more sedentary. About 1996, we took a space at the Antique Center of Texas, and 5 years ago, branched out once more to the Houston Design Center to better serve our design clients. About 2.5 years ago, we went contemporary, opened Postmodern Traditions to meet the new market demands for custom and contemporary rugs, and then just this past week, we opened our third shop. So here's a surprise.
Wow.
We now own the Little Rug Shop right back in the neighborhood where we started on Bissonnet Street near Rice.
When you think of all the things that can be sold out of the back of a car, I bet that is probably pretty low on the list that comes to people's minds.
It was not what I expected to do with my life when I came here as a graduate student at Rice, but it seems to have worked out very well.
It certainly has. Troy, question for our guest?
Lisa, kind of describe the differences between Pride of Persia and Postmodern.
Most of the difference you'll see is when you walk in, it's really a different world. You're looking at rugs in postmodern traditions that are innovative, fresh, things that have their roots in the deep traditions of the rug weaving world, but then also have roots in art, music, design from like all genres. When you walk into Pride of Persia Rug Company, you know you're in a rug company. And those are the traditional pieces that we recognize as being rugs that people have woven and appreciated for not just generations, but for actually thousands of years. I mean, weaving has a very long tradition, and you can see that when you go to Pride of Persia.
Yeah, and I can imagine that. And in fact, I'm looking at the site. What made you feel like you needed to make that differentiation from the other company?
We were selling contemporary rugs at Pride of Persia, but people would walk into our space and not think of us as contemporary rug dealers. They wouldn't understand that, yes, we can do both in that space. So finally we caved, and we said we need to, for branding reasons, we need to have our own space for this line. Yeah. And so we moved out of that kind of little back room where we had showcased our custom rugs into a gallery. A few doors down, but it really is a different world in just a few steps.
Yeah, that's amazing. It makes a lot of sense from a marketing perspective. Troy?
Also, Lisa, I know Postmodern is pretty new to the Houston environment, but I know that y'all have recently won an award. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, I won a big prize from the American Society of Interior Designers last fall. Basically second place for a design of a custom runner. So it was second place in the flooring division. That was flooring meaning any kind of flooring. It could have been stone flooring or hardwood. The man who won, Tom Schenck, had this really remarkable and massive hardwood flooring job that he completed. But we were very happy to, in our very first entry, take home that prize.
That's great.
That's impressive. And again, the company is how old? That's the first
Modern
one.
Traditions is it'll be 3 years old in June.
That's incredible. You've done a lot in 3 years.
We have, but we have, that tradition behind it. Mm-hmm. That's why we have two names there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's fantastic, and I think it's a phenomenal story. And I said before we got started, it's cool that you are involved in academia, but you also bring us a lot of I would say some real-world experience to the classroom, and you understand some of the dynamics that people will face outside of the classroom. That, and I have friends who are in academia, and they admit it. They'll be the first to admit it's a challenge because that's all they do is classroom work. And I think it's phenomenal that you bring that to every class as well. So I appreciate, Troy, you bringing this story to us.
Oh, thank you.
And the website, again, you start naming off a bunch of websites, they won't go to any. So go to postmoderntraditions.com. I assume there's links over there to Pride of Persia.
Correct.
Yeah, to go check that out. And, of course, 4guys.com, which I think is a great name as well. And I appreciate both of you for being with us. Great story, Troy.
Thanks, Kim.
Yeah, you bet.